Hey folks, Hytale just recently released, and with that, I'm showing you guys on how to make your very first Hytale plugin. So in order to get started, there's a couple things you have to download. The first thing is Java, the JDK, IntelliJ IDEA, which will be your IDE. If you guys want a video that goes into a little bit more of the installation and download process of these two tools that we need to program our first Hytale plugin, I do have that already in detail in my first Java video, if you guys look on my channel, where I will also link it in the description. And then the last thing that you will need before starting this video is a Hytale testing server. I won't go over the specifics of how you specifically create one of those, but I will link this down in the description, which goes over the basic setup and how you make a Hytale server and how you have to authenticate it. So anyways, to get started here, you need to open up File Explorer and you need to navigate to basically where Hytale is installed. So by default, it will be in %appdata, %, and then we will navigate to the Hytale folder down here. Once inside, go into Install, Release, Package, Game, Latest, and then go into Server. And then you'll see the Hytale server.jar. You're going to right click this and copy this. And we will need this for a future step, so just hang on to it for a minute. The next step is to open up IntelliJ. Once IntelliJ is open, you're just going to go ahead and press New Project. Once this is opened up, go ahead and give your project a name. Make sure you're selected under Java here. So we'll just call this Arcane Tale. And make sure you have build system Gradle selected, the correct JDK. So we're using JDK 25 as of this video. Gradle DSL, make sure you select Kotlin. Go into advanced settings here. And then the two things you will have to make sure is the group ID and artifact ID. The artifact ID should be the same as what your project is called. The group ID, though, is sort of like a personal identifier. So I own the Code by Arcane domain, but what I did whenever I didn't own a domain, for example, where I wasn't working for anybody, I would just do like, if Code by Arcane was my name, I would do me.codebyarcane. But otherwise, I'm just going to go by this. Of course, you want to customize this to whatever username you're going under. And then you're going to go ahead and press create. Once your new project is fully created and whatnot, you're going to go up to the name of the file here. So Arcane Tale. We're going to right click that and go to new directory. We're going to call this libraries and then press enter. Once you're here in libraries, you're going to right click and press open in Explorer. And then go into the libraries folder and then right click and paste. And that should copy that Hytale server.jar inside of there. And then you can go ahead and close the Explorer. The next step here is to edit the build.gradle.kts folder. And under the dependencies here, we will do compile only, files, and then we're going to write the path to this. So it's just simply libraries / Hytale server.jar. And what this says is, hey, this dependency here, I only want it at compile time. So don't include it in the jar file, but just know that it exists. After you're done writing this into the file here, you're going to go up here to the top right and press sync Gradle changes. Once that is done, you're going to go into the source folder, go into main, and then under Java, right click on Java, go to new package. And then that group ID that you made the project with, which you can also see right here, is called com.codebyarcane. So you want to type that in and then do another dot. And then I usually type in the name of the project. So Arcane Tail is what I have. So once you have that, press enter. And then you're going to basically make what would be called the main class. So where the plugin is essentially going to start. So right click in here, go to new Java class, and then type in Arcane Tail and press enter. Which again, this class should be named after the project pretty much. At this point, we then need to go into this resource folder over here, go to new file, and type in manifest.json. The purpose of manifest.json is it will tell Hytale all the crucial information that it basically needs about your plugin. So start with curly braces, and then we're going to type a few fields in here. The first field we're going to type in here is group. This is the group that you have typed in a couple times by now. Again, mine is com.code by Arcane. So we will type that in. The next field, make sure you put a comma here, is going to be name. This is simply going to be the name of your plugin. Mine's going to be called Arcane Tail. And then another comma. The next field is version. This will be just whatever versioning numbers you want. I just put 1.0.0 for my first version of the plugin. And then the last one is called main. This basically will point to the main class in your plugin. So you want to take the package path. So com.code by arcane.arcanetail. Type that in first. Com.code by arcanetail. And then you want to put another dot and then put the name of your main class. So mine is just Arcane Tail. And make sure you follow the lowercase and uppercase letters exactly as you have them in your package path and your Java class. So at this point, now we need to do a little bit of work inside of the Arcane Tail class. All right, now that we're in the main class here, let's type in extends Java plugin. And you will see there is a giant red squiggly under here now. If you go ahead and press Alt and Enter, this will tell you what's wrong. It wants to create a constructor matching super. So you can go ahead and do that. Another way to do this, if you do not like using the shortcuts like Alt and Enter, you can also go ahead and right click and press Generate and then press Constructor. And this will generate that constructor for you. Now there is actually a method that we have to override as well. So I will show you guys that as well. So go ahead and right click here and go to generate, or you can press Alt plus insert, either one, and then override methods. And then if we scroll down just a little bit, down here is setup. Select setup and then press OK. And there you go. The super.setup command is necessary. And that's all the work we have in the main class for right this second. The next step is we're going to be making a command for this one. So we're going to right click on our initial package here and do new package. And we're going to type in commands. This is just a generic package to hold the one command that I'm going to have. So then right click, new Java class, and we're going to call this hello command. Once we are in here, just do extends abstract player command. And then basically the same thing as the main class. Let's go ahead and generate the constructor. We're going to generate the constructor that just has the name and the description. So press OK. And then it also wants us to implement a method. So if we right click again, generate, implement methods, or control I, whichever you prefer, and then press on this one and press OK. Now you see how this method declaration is way going off the page. You should probably press enter after each of these commas just to make this a little bit more readable for you as the developer. The last item we have to do in this class here is just to send that message to the player. So we're going to do that by accessing the player reference. So as we can see, it's called player ref. So let's do player ref dot send message. Let's do message dot raw. And then we're going to type in hello. And that is it for this class in particular. Now let's go back to the main class here, Hytale. And then right below this super call, let's do get command registry dot register command. And then we're going to do new hello command. So this is instantiating hello command. And then hello command needs two things. It needs a name and it needs a description. So the name of it is just going to be hello. So like when the player would activate this command, they would actually have to type /hello in chat. And then the description. So this is just going to say, says hello to the player. So that is effectively all of the code that we need to write to get this to work. Now go ahead and go into Gradle up here, go down into tasks, go into build, and then double click on build. Once that is done building, you will see a new folder pop up over here called build. Inside of that folder, you'll see libs. Open up libs here and you'll see Hytale. You're going to go ahead and right click and copy that. In order to do that, simply go into your Hytale server files and go into mods and then paste it in here. After you have pasted that in, all you will do is start up your server. Once you have successfully started up your server, you will find code inside of the server that says something similar to enabled plugin Hytale. If you see any errors in the console, you more than likely have done something wrong. So just go back and review the tutorial again, see if you may have done something wrong along the way. The next step is going to be opening up Hytale and joining the server. The next step, once you have booted up Hytale, is to go into servers and join it. If it's hosted on your own computer, more than likely you can connect with an IP like this and press connect. Once you are in the test server here, all you have to do is press enter and type in /hello. And the console replied back, hello. So that is the very basics of your first ever Hytale plugin completely done. So if you guys have any questions, comments, feedback, whatever you may call it, just please let me know in the comments down below. Other than that, guys, if you want more videos like this, please let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next video.